Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll check in with the Vernon Hills Public Works Department to find out about how winter road crews work, as well as who is responsible for each road within the village. We'll check in with Cook Memorial's Aspen Drive Library to get some ideas for keeping our brains engaged and staying involved this winter season. We'll visit with St. Mary of Vernon Catholic Church to talk about the local pad shelter program and other outreach efforts, including how we can get involved and help support our wider community. And we'll stop by the Vernon Hills Park District's Lakeview Fitness Center for suggestions for keeping our bodies active and healthy. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.
Well, here we are, the beginning of 2019, at least as it goes on the Vernon Hills Update calendar. We're looking at January 2019, and we're here to talk about a lot of things to get us through the winter in good shape and start the year off strong. And one of the things we're talking about today is dealing with snow and ice and all that stuff that happens in winter. We're with Dave Brown. He's the Public Works Director, because the Vernon Hills Public Works Department is actually really good about dealing with snow and ice. We can't always say that about all the other entities and municipalities and people around, but Vernon Hills is awesome.
Well, I think snow in general is just a struggle for all of us. We were faced with our first challenge of the year. We're in mid-December right now, and the first storm that we were hit with was a very wet snow, 8 inches of snow for our area. And so it's just difficult for agencies to work through that. In our instance, as you're plowing, big snowballs come off of the vehicle. We mean our best, but they do have a lot of weight. They may hit mailboxes, and so we have to work with residents in terms of putting out temporary mailboxes and make sure that they still get their mail service.
So if you do have a problem like that, just look on the Public Works pages of the website or give a call and somebody will help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a program as far as replacing them, and you would just contact our office, Public Works office, and we'd be able to help them through that. We also had big issues with all the wet snow and ice on trees, and so we did have a pickup for a week period and went out and helped residents. If they could pull their branches out to the curb, we were able to chip them, in addition to taking care of all of our parkway trees.
When we talk about those trees too, I mean, you guys handled the snow and the ice with your typical process, but the trees did sustain some limbs and things down, so there's some kind of raggedy places. Now, is it okay for us as homeowners to go in and trim those up in the wintertime? Do we have to wait till it's spring?
Actually, in a dormant condition, it's a good time to prune trees. It's not in a sap condition, so it's easier on the person doing the work too. But by all means, it is a good time to do that. I wouldn't necessarily say if it's in an iced condition that you really want to deal with it, but if there's no snow and ice on it, it's probably a good time to address those.
If you can get out to it, depending on how your yard looks and everything.
Sure, absolutely.
When we talk about how you guys deal with snow and ice here, your Public Works transitions to be ready for big snow and ice events, and you always prep. There's things you do even before something hits. You watch the weather and you pre-treat, and you've got quite a process to keep it smooth.
Yeah, we have a number of things in our toolbox that we use. You may see ahead of storms that there's lines on the road. So what we're doing is really pre-treating the roadways. We're using a beet juice application. With that, it really kind of butters the road, so therefore it's easier to scrape. The beet juice holds the salt onto the road longer instead of having it just scatter or easily washed away like salt may do. And we also have full bins, 3 full bins of salt, so we're ready for the rest of the winter.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about the roads you do, now Vernon Hills, Public Works, you do the Vernon Hills like streets, and I didn't mean to speak disparagingly of other organizations, but there are places where it's the county's job, or there are places where it's the state's job. You tend to jump in and do anything you need to do, though, right here in Vernon Hills, regardless of whose job it is, to make sure things are passable.
Yeah, we do work in cooperation with other entities, whether it's LDOT, IDOT, and actually Libertyville, we have some overlap in some areas with them closer to Greg's Parkway, and so we work in a cooperative effort with all entities. In terms of which roads we're responsible for, it's the public local roads. As you said, there are other roadways. If it's Butterfield Road, that's LDOT. If it's 45, 21, or 60, those are state roadways, and they're responsible for that maintenance.
Well, and you talk about cooperation. So, for instance, for that big snowstorm in November, it was cooperation. It wasn't just the Public Works. It was, and all those other organizations. I know, like, police had to be out there working with ComEd when a line went down in a kind of an inopportune place.
Yeah, in our after-action plan, that was one of the things I really wanted to point out is the police department did a fantastic job. They had some issues at Milwaukee and 60, the east leg of the intersection. There was a power line down, so they took control over it. We helped support them by getting barricades out. But essentially, when people wanted to go west to east to get to the tollway, they couldn't. And so I feel for the police officers who have to stand there, and they're directing people to the north and to the south, but people really want to go east. And so that's not an easy job.
Yeah, and it just, that's how it was. It was quite a storm. So, and you guys are ready for the rest of the winter, and hopefully that goes easily. And I know you always like to tell people, you've always got a tip too about handling our own snow to make it a little better. I know you don't mean to fill up our driveways. There's just nothing you can do about it, but how should we shovel our snow to make it a little bit better for ourselves?
Yeah, I think there's a couple helpful tips. I have to shovel my own driveway. I understand what everyone's faced with. And really, when I'm shoveling my driveway, I try to push it to the, if the direction of travel is from left to right, then I will try to put it to the right-hand side, because then it's just not filling up my driveway once I've shoveled. Also, it's really what time is the storm hitting. We may be out after someone has shoveled their driveways. It just depends on the storm. If it's a long duration storm, we may be out 3 times at night taking care of it and going past people's houses. So we try to do it in cooperation with them. We may be out early in the morning, 4 in the morning, and they've already taken care of their driveway. That it's not our intention to cause the impact, but we want to make sure the roads are clear so they can make it to work and places they have to travel to.
Yeah, it's a dance, you know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and one other thing that in terms of mailboxes, a lot of times people think that we're hitting their mailbox. What's really happening sometimes, as simple as if the door on the mailbox is open, that's enough that our plows will hit that and it will spin the mailbox off of the post. And so just checking to make sure after you gather your mail of closing the door, that's something that certainly I look to do as a homeowner.
Something easy tips for 2019, especially for wintertime. When we talk about other things for wintertime, you guys always come through and in a very green and eco-friendly way, you like to grind up our holiday trees when we get to January. And I know that starting January 7th, depending on when everybody's watching this, you're going to come around again.
Yeah, another cooperative effort. We have Advanced Disposal, who does haul away Christmas trees, holiday trees. We will be out January 7th for a week because that's the most intense time after the holidays. So we will be around for the 1 week, and then Advanced Disposal will take care of them for almost a month after that. And then if there's some other issues that arise afterwards, we do make accommodations that if someone drops off their tree at our Public Works building, we'll make sure to get rid of that for them. In terms of the trees, and especially when Advanced Disposal is picking those up, if they are in a plastic bag, it's going to the landfill. If they're not in a plastic bag, they will chip it. So we just ask people not to put plastic bags, make sure the tree is as natural as possible, because then it's better that it doesn't go to the landfill.
Yeah. Lights off, ornaments off, plastic bags off, so that you can just throw it in the chipper and then reuse it for mulch.
That'd be the way to go.
Okay, and that schedule is online, and I know if it snows or something during that week of the 7th, the schedule might change a little bit. You kind of go neighborhood by neighborhood.
Absolutely. We break it into 4 quadrants. We'll go around to each quadrant, and then Friday's circling the village for any last items.
Well, thank you for all you guys do. Winter's really just starting, so let's just hope it all goes easy. I know you guys are ready for it. We'll try to be ready for it too as residents, but if people have questions or want to know more, you can always call over here, you can email, you can go online and look up information, but you guys are here to help. I know that.
Absolutely. We're here, and we can be contacted by the numbers that you'll put on the screen, and we're always here to help.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks to the crews, and let's have a great 2019.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Well, our quest for entering 2019 with good shape, strong, happy, continues as we come over to the Aspen Drive Library, part of the Cook Memorial Library System. And the library is just filled with resources, new things to learn, new things to do, ways to get involved. So that's why we thought we'd come over. It's a great place to be in the wintertime. We're with Andrea Larson and Becky King, and they were tapped by the library people to have to talk to us today. But it's very exciting to get to meet you all and talk about things going on at the library. And before we start, the Aspen Drive Library is it's got to be one of the busiest libraries in the area. I mean, I'm not going to hold you to numbers. That's kind of like Dave Archer's job. But you guys are always hopping over here.
We are busy all the time, and we love it. We love all the people, the kids, the adults. The more the merrier. So.
Yeah. Well, and it is. It's a very exciting place. It's a comfortable place to be. Like on a winter day when the sun is shining, perfect. And we know that there is a construction project coming. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother story. So when spring hits, we start that construction project. We'll come over, and no new taxes, so don't worry about that. But extra services will be able to be provided. So it's going to be awesome.
Very exciting.
Yeah, that is going to be exciting. So we'll come back for that. But now let's talk about ideas for how somebody can kind of start 2019 strong, like with some New Year's resolutions. I know one of the things, Andrea, you've got one book where everybody's kind of reading the same thing and talking about the same thing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We're very excited about this program. It's in its 3rd year. It's called One Book, One Community, and we do it in partnership with Ela Area Library and also with the Vernon Area Public Library District. And the book that we've chosen this year for all of our patrons is called Love and Other Consolation Prizes. And the author is Jamie Ford. And he is going to come and visit us in February to talk about the book. It'll be February 24th at Vernon Hills High School. But in the meantime, we have all kinds of cool events that are kind of connected to the story, which takes place around the Seattle World's Fair. There was an exposition in the early 1900s, and there was a World's Fair in the 60s. So the story kind of goes back and forth between those two. So we've got book discussion coming up at Aspen Drive in February. We have a Japanese tea ceremony happening here in January. We also even have a presentation on the 1893 Chicago World's Fair happening here. So
that's one of those that everybody loves. That's got a lot of books about that too. So that's called One Book, One Community. So is that something that you can reserve the book here so you can start reading and be ready for all these discussions and author visits and everything like that?
Yes, absolutely. We have a lot of copies in the library, so come on in and get one or put your name on the hold list.
Okay, excellent. Well, and that's the sort of thing, some of those events, you do have to sign up. Most of them are free, but you have to sign up just because they fill up. So that's probably, that author visit is probably one of those that you would have to kind of plan ahead.
Absolutely, yes, because don't forget, patrons from 2 other libraries are coming, but it's a big auditorium, though, so we'll be able to seat lots of people.
Okay, and when it comes to how do you sign up for something like that? You can do it online, right? You don't even have to come in.
You can do it online, or you can give us a call. We're happy to do it over the phone, either way.
Okay, so that's One Book, One Community, but you've got a lot of reading clubs and gatherings for all ages. I mean, we've got like the little kids coming out of story time right now. It's very exciting, and it's like, that's great though. That's what this library is about. So what about some other clubs you've got coming up?
Well, something else that we're doing this winter is we are having the Winter Reading Club for adults. Usually you think of these things as only for kids, but this is for the grown-ups, and it's happening January through March. And our theme is uplit. And we chose that because, things out in the real world can get a little depressing sometimes.
Winter gets a little long and gray. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're reading uplifting literature.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so if you read 2 uplifting books, you'll get entered in a drawing for a $50 gift card.
So that's not so bad either. That's a double. That's a great
Yeah.
deal. Yeah, and there's people that, if you haven't been in a club, is that the sort of thing where do you have to come in? Sometimes I've been in the book clubs where I feel like it's a quiz and I'm not ready for the quiz, but your book clubs are more just read and enjoy and do it for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't even like a book club where you come in for a discussion. You come in and you register and you tell us which 2 books you read and you're entered in the drawing. That's it. Super easy.
Super easy. And the list is online or the list is here so somebody can help.
Online. It'll be online and here in the library.
So that's Uplift, and you've got kind of those winter months to do that. That's really cool. So, and talking about, we were talking before, Becky, you talk about things to do for New Year's, and one of the ideas you had was to organize your photos and your videos and things, which is always on my list, but I don't know how to do it.
I know. I was going to say, if you're like me and you have piles of photos and old VHS tapes at home, we have a wonderful digital studio here at Aspen Drive Library. And on Monday evening, starting now and running through February, we have some workshops on how to convert those to digital means. So your old photos, your slides, your negatives, your VHS tapes, come on in, learn how to do it. And then you can come back on your own time when it's convenient for you and convert all that.
Wait,
to
so-
reduce those piles.
So you'll teach me how, and you have the equipment, so I don't have to, so once I know how, I can reserve the equipment and do it on my own.
Right. We have a wonderful gentleman who will run those workshops for us, teach you how to do it, and then you can come on in and convert to your heart's content.
Oh my gosh, that is something we should all do for 2019.
I know. I should do it for sure.
I know. Well, and as we talk about things coming up in this winter time, you're all about the Oscars. You're kind of fancy that way.
I do. I'm a fan. And Oscar season will be upon us soon enough. I think the announcements for nominations will be made at the end of January. So just to remind everybody that we have movie matinees, weekly movie matinees at the library. Starting at the end of January and all through spring, we'll probably be showing those Oscar nominees, whatever they may be. So that's a drop-in program. I always say it's the best deal in town. Free popcorn. So here at Aspen, it's at 1:30 p.m. on Friday afternoon. So we hope you plan to join us for those. We'll be starting, I know we're showing The Wife in January already, which stars Glenn Close, and she'll be a likely nominee, so that's fun. And then also a really popular program with our patrons is called A Night at the Oscars, and that's where we have film historians and film critics come in, go over all the Oscar nominees, give you a sneak preview of what the ceremony might be like, and that's always tons of fun. It's another program sponsored by our friends of the library, which are wonderful to us, and we hope you can join us for that. That's toward the end of February.
Okay, and I want to back up to those movie matinees.
Yes.
It is the best ticket in town because it's free movie,
Right.
free popcorn. You just show up and it's something to do on an afternoon.
Exactly. We do them every week, and on Thursday afternoons we do them at our Cook Park location, 1:30, Aspen Drive Library on Fridays at 1:30.
And you mentioned Friends of the Library too, so let's tell people what the Friends of the Library is.
That is a supporting organization. They do so much work for us. You're welcome to join. They're always looking for new members. They also run our annual book sale. Proceeds go to the library. Other things that they do, fundraising, and they do lots of programs for us. They buy equipment for us. We really rely on them, so we hope you'll thank them when you see them.
Thank them, and if you want to get involved,
And get involved. And that information's on our website as well.
yeah, there is so much on. We talked before we started. We can only just like scratch the surface because there is so much going on for all ages, all the time. It's almost overwhelming, and that's why we always tell people if you're in Vernon Hills, you look for the booklet that comes out, and that ins and outs lets you kind of study a little bit. But go online. That's the way. Well, and we talked before we started too. How do you access all of these resources? Now you can just walk in. Or you can go online. There's a lot of things you can do digitally right from home and load them onto your own iPad or whatever if you've got a library card.
Right.
But you actually have a way that if you're homebound especially in the winter if you're homebound, you can have books dropped off or DVDs or whatever it is.
Absolutely. We have a whole outreach department that will deliver anything you want to your home. You can set it up and they deliver to you on a weekly basis if you're homebound. And you can do it, for indefinite basis, or you can just do it temporarily for the winter months. It's a wonderful service. My mother participated in it for many years, so it's great.
Well, it's nice to just have, somebody knock on the door and have something nice there for you. That's again, like all things at the library, for the most part, everything's free.
Yes.
It's just part of being part of the library group. So now you had, we talked about so much stuff here. I've got notes all over. You've got a lot of programs here. You talked about the adult reading club. You've got kids reading club. You've got story time. You've got craft time. You've got, did somebody say concerts?
Yes, actually, our concerts are really popular, and they're large programs, and we hold them actually at the Sullivan Center. So our next one is going to be really exciting. It's the Best of Broadway. It's on February 1st, and it features a trio of performers, a vocalist and some musicians, and it'll be a really good time. Rodgers and Hammerstein, Lerner and Lowe, all those great songs that we all know and love. So we hope you'll drop in for that. That's also Friends of the Library sponsoring, and you can register for that, but we have lots of room. So.
And let's remind people, like, how do you take part in all these things? We said, just about everything's free. You might have to register just because you have to make sure there's room for everybody, which you can do online, or you can call, or you can walk up to the front desk. But how do you get to be even like a library card holder?
Well, you come into the library. You will need to show a proof of residency that you live in this district. But beyond that, it's very simple. We sign you up. It takes, 5 minutes and at the most. And then you have access to all of our materials and services, including online digital downloads.
And those online downloads, I mean, it's magazines, it's periodicals, it's stuff that and you can just call it up to your own iPad at home. It's awesome.
Books, music, everything.
I forgot music, movies, everything. So and when we talk about that library card, in the day, I remember having to go into my own library back in the the old time library, and it was a nickel. How much does a library card cost today?
Zero.
The prices went down. That you don't see that very often. It's free. So that's great that you guys are there to help, because sometimes walking in the library, there's so many resources here. It can be a little overwhelming, but I understand you've got a special help for people looking for books.
Absolutely, because it can. You come in, you look at the shelves, and you say, oh my gosh, how do I choose? So we have a service called the Bookies. And if you go onto our website and go to the Bookies page, you will see a list of a group of us who are just passionate about books and reading. And we can help you get personalized choices. So you fill out a little form online, tell us what kinds of things you like to read, and then we will get back to you with a list of books. And what we can do is we can put them right on the hold shelf for you at the library. So all you need to do is just walk in, pick them up, done.
Really? So I don't even have to think that part through. I can just start reading the books I want to read. So excellent.
Yes, just like that.
All online. Excellent. So that and let's remind people that if you go online, you'll find so much information. You can find the programs. You can find book reviews. You can find all kinds of stuff on there. So thank you all for all you do to help us use our library. And thank you for helping us start 2019 strong. So we'll come by the library, and that'll be how we do it. Thank you. Well, as we continue our January show, talking about New Year's resolutions, sometimes looking outward is almost as important as looking inward when it comes to making New Year's resolutions. And we're at a place that can help us with that. We are at St. Mary of Vernon, in Indian Creek, right off Route 45. And we're here with Stephen Love, who is the Director of Development for PADS of Lake County, which is our shelter system that's been around for forever. And we're with Loretta Foss, who's she's the food coordinator here, and she's volunteer extraordinaire at St. Mary's of Vernon. So if we want to find out something, we're going to find out from you today, my friends. So thank you for taking the time to talk today. I know it's a busy time as we're taping here going into January. Everybody gives and is involved as they go into the holidays, and sometimes it falls off afterwards. So thus we're here to talk about PADS. Tell us about PADS. It's been around for a long time, and it's not the PADS I remember from 1980.
Yeah, PADS has been around going on 30 years now. We celebrated our 30th anniversary last year, so we're in our 31st season of providing shelter throughout Lake County. And you're right, it has expanded so much in 30 years. We started off as a hotline for those who are experiencing homelessness, and then we expanded to providing overnight shelter. But then as we were working with our clients and those who came to us for services, we figured what more can we do to support those who are experiencing homelessness. So now we've expanded from just public action to deliver shelter to providing advocacy, dignity, and shelter, meaning that we do so much more from prevention and diversion to keeping families in their housing, to providing healthcare services for those who come to us, transportation services, the whole gamut. We really look at it as a holistic approach to helping families in need.
Okay, so those of us who remember the PAD shelter opening at St. Mary of Vernon, it's more than a one night a week shelter moving around the Lake County.
Yeah, so we have 15 shelter sites like St. Mary of Vernon all throughout Lake County, and we provide shelter every single day of the year. Those 15 rotating sites are open from October 1st through April 30th, but then we have a summer shelter program that's open as well.
Okay. Plus all the other services and advocacies, and so if somebody needed help, and it wasn't even to the point of homelessness, though, PADS is still a place to go to look for help.
Absolutely. So we tell individuals who are just searching for help in Lake County, come to us first. I mean, if you're thinking about needing services, come to us and we'll direct you to the right location. That way you're not going throughout the wire and spending your precious time looking for help when we can point you in the permanent direction.
Well, when we talk about PADS too, homelessness has a different look in Lake County than maybe we see on TV or we see in downtown Chicago. But you see it because you've been here at the PAD shelter for years? How many years?
We're going on our 21st year, and we're Thursday nights, and we're one of the two. Our site here takes families. Unfortunately, the other site can only take men. So we do see an awful lot of families coming in, children, newborn, ranging up to teenagers.
Okay. And so you've been doing this 21 years, so this is important.
21st year, yes.
Okay. Well, and let's talk about homelessness in Lake County, because I think it sometimes isn't as in your face. So then we think it's easier to ignore it because it's people who are working or who are doing all the things they think they should do, and it just isn't coming together.
That's right. It's very much a hidden problem in Lake County. Whereas in Chicago, Lower Record Drive, you see it everywhere you go. However, the problem exists, and it exists in abundance in Lake County. However, it's sort of under the radar, but we have quite a bit of families, as Loretta knows, who come in, who are working, quite a few individuals who are working, maybe 2-3 jobs. However, the cost of living within Lake County, as we all know, is quite expensive. And so if you have an individual, it may work out okay, but then you throw a family into the mix, and it becomes extremely difficult for individuals to make ends meet. Or if there's a layoff or a firing or a mental health issue, all those things contribute to the homeless situation that we see in Lake County.
Okay. So how can we help? You guys have been here doing your work. Can you explain what happens here on Thursday nights? First, kind of what does it look like when Thursday night comes?
Well, this room is pretty bare when I arrive at 5 o'clock, and our coordinator, Jim Wogan, arrives as well at 5 o'clock, and we have volunteers arriving soon after, and they start setting up tables and chairs in this section over here, and then we do actual PADS bedding for our clients. And we separate our women and children with a room divider and from the men. And then we set up chairs in front of our TV because we like to show a movie once in a while, or they can watch TV. And so they get served. Once they're here, they pick their site, their bed. They come to the tables, and they are served by our volunteers. We want to give them as much respect and dignity as we can, and they are our guests at that point.
And when I talk about years and years ago, Mike and I came and did a story. When you say serve, it is just as though you were serving guests in your home. You take very good care and you give very good food. How do you get that food all put together for a big meal like this?
Well, I've been doing it for many years, and I come from a big Italian family, and I love to cook, so I think that's kind of been my plus for me. But we do get food from various restaurants and grocery stores. Whole Foods supplies quite a lot, and Olive Garden and City Barbecue, Panera. There's probably a couple more I can't remember right now, but
I'm putting you on the spot. It doesn't help that we got the camera light in your eyes, but so really a lot of the local businesses support, and if somebody wanted to support that way and there was a business, just get a contact with you guys?
that's right. They just give one of us a call through our church, and the number is 847-362-1005, and they'll link us with the correct person to make the contact.
And what about volunteers? Do you need help here? Do you work shifts? Do you need help? I think, do you still send lunches for the people when they leave in the morning?
Yes, we do make lunches during the second shift, and we also have donations from Deerfield High School and the Ravinia School District. They donate once a month, so we have 2 Thursdays taken care of, but the other Thursdays we cover. And if anyone wants to volunteer, we do have 5 shifts throughout starting at 6 and ending at 7 the next morning. And again, just give us a call and we'll kind of fit you with the correct shift where it fits best with you.
Okay. Do you need to be a member of St. Mary of Vernon, or do you need to be of the Catholic faith to take part in this?
No, absolutely not. We have people from all faiths come, and we welcome everyone. Thank you.
Well, and it is such a community. It's such a community thing. I think we all think of you guys and what you do, and there are other sites around too. Messiah Lutheran. There's a bunch of them. So if you're taken care of, somebody could need help somewhere. So this is a way you can reach out of yourself and help some way or another. So whether by calling your church, St. Mary, or calling PADS, can you fit people with how they can use their time, talents, and resources?
Absolutely. We have, as Loretta was mentioning, we have well over 3,000 volunteers every single year that come in to PADS and work at one of our shelter locations and provide food or making the beds or serving the clients. So again, we tell our volunteers if there's a passion that you have, more than likely that passion will meet the need of one of our clients who comes to us for services. So yeah, well over 3,000, we can fit you in somewhere. Yeah.
So that, with that in mind too, there's probably something that even families with younger children can do to help then.
Yeah, we get quite a few Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, high schools, elementary schools. If you're under 18, you come with a legal guardian, a school teacher, an adult. You can volunteer at one of our shelter locations.
Okay, and if I'm local and I know I need help, is that where I call you, Pastor Love, or do I call you, Loretta, or who should I call?
Well, I think if it's an immediate need, you're more than welcome to come here. We do have a number of walk-ins, and we never refuse anyone. There have been times where we've had upwards to 75, 80 people here, and so we will never turn anyone away.
Well, and talking about never turn anyone away, St. Mary's also has, you've got other help because you've got the food pantry and you've got a furniture ministry too, that you've got other ways you can help.
That's right. We have Sharing Hands, which helps our families in the community, and we supply them with food and clothing. And then we have our furniture ministry. If by chance one of our clients' families has been able to move into a unit and needs furniture, bedding, dressers, whatever, we supply that, and we travel throughout Lake County.
So what if I had some stuff that I thought maybe you could use? How do I figure that out if you could use it?
Actually, just give us a call. There are very few things we will say no to.
That's good to know. So that's the number. You just got to keep calling. You got to get involved. So we know there's a need. hidden or not, we have to remember it as we go into the new year. I think we think about it all the time when it's coming up with the holidays and what can we do to help. But your need is all year round, and the numbers are staggering. And with the cost of living, it doesn't look like it's going to get easier.
Absolutely. So speaking of numbers, we see just under 2,000 clients every single year and have been for a while. And the reasons as to why they come to us differ. And the means that they have differ, but that number that we see around 2,000 has been consistent. So the need is evidently there. And so we all the support that we get and all the volunteers that we have is definitely beneficial to our neighbors. Yeah.
Okay. So this is something, if you want to get involved, if you need help, call. If you want to get involved, call or go on the website. The church website and the PADS website has so much information, and you guys are there to answer questions too. And hopefully the next time we come and do this story, you can say that the numbers are a little less and we've made a difference. But you can make a difference. Your whole family can make a difference. So thank you all for taking the time. Best wishes for 2019, and may it be one where everybody's served exactly what they need. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we continue our talk about how to get ready for the new year, how to stay active over the winter as we're in our January show. And one of the places that you can stay active and get healthy is through the Vernon Hills Park District. Lots of programs over here. We happen to be at Lakeview Fitness, which is over by Target. We're with Joseph Zimmerman. He's the new facility manager. So welcome to Vernon Hills and the Vernon Hills Park District.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be part of the community.
Yeah, you've not been here very long, so we're baptizing you with fire,
Yes,
making you come on TV.
Yes,
so-
been here about a month.
Okay, excellent. Well, and if people want to find out more, you are the facility manager over here. You're here to answer questions, let people know what's going on.
Yeah, answer questions, be a face in the facility, and if anybody wants to just chit chat, I'm up at the front desk quite a bit, so hopefully I get to know most of the members here fairly soon.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that's the thing too. There's a lot of, you'll see everybody in town comes through here one time or another, so it's a really good way to get involved in the community. And when it comes to the Park District, you've got a lot of background in that. But so you're new to Vernon Hills, but you're not new to the scene. So.
Kind of. Yeah, I don't actually have that much of a background in Park District. I come from the private side where did the business side for a sports performance company. So I have a lot of familiarity with the facility management side, and hopefully get a little more familiar with the Park District side as well.
Yeah, excellent. So you're here to give us that. And when it comes to that, the business side of that, sports performance, that's what people like to hear. They like to know that you know how to make us do what we need to do in our bodies. So that's awesome. So you're here for that.
I'm here for that and everything else that comes with it.
Wonderful. So if people want to get to know you or touch base with you, you've got email available?
Yeah, my email is josephz@vhparkdistrict.org.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome. And now we'll go talk to your staff and see what else is going on.
Thanks for having me.
We are now joined by Marissa Moravik. She is member services over here at Lakeview Fitness. You can tell us all about how to get involved, what there is we might look into, and how we can do it. So right now we're in the weight room, but you've got a lot of facilities over here.
Yes, so we have a cardio room as well, the weight room. We have 75 group exercise classes a week. We also offer them over at our Sullivan Community Center. There's just a handful over there, but the majority of them are over here. We also have the indoor pools, so 25-yard lap lanes. We have 4 of those. The spa, which includes the sauna, steam room, hot tub, hot water therapy. So once you're in the door, you have access to everything. We also have babysitting services. If you have kids and you're trying to figure out how you're going to get in and get your workout in, we do have babysitting services as an additional package.
Excellent. So, and when we talked about, how many classes did you say for fitness?
We have about 75 classes a week.
Okay. So what's the sort of classes you could take here?
So anything from mind body, so yoga, Pilates, all the way up to high intensity, body pump, cardio and strength. So we've got Zumba. There's a whole variety of classes. We've got them all listed on the website. So, and we keep that updated. So there's a winter break schedule, a winter schedule, spring schedule. It does change a little bit every couple of months. So just to keep updated, check the website.
So now how does that work? Do you have to be a Vernon Hills resident to use Lakeview Fitness?
No, you do not have to be a resident of Vernon Hills, but you do get a discount for being a resident. So we have resident, non-resident fees. Non-residents pay a slightly higher rate because they don't pay taxes to the park district.
So and Lakeview Fitness is part. People who remember the history, this used to be the Y, and Lakeview Fitness is the park district took it over and has kept it going, and it's beautiful in here too. If you haven't been in here for a while, so now could I try things out if I've never been over here before, or how do I sign up for just one class to give it a try?
So we don't really offer just one class. We do have a one-time free trial, so you could come try it once. Otherwise, we have a drop-in rate, $9 for residents, $11 for non-residents. We have the monthly EFT pass, and we have the paid in full membership as well. So, and we have a 10 punch, so that's a discounted rate from our regular daily fee. So you get 10 visits. It's good for a year. And then try it out. It's, like I said, slightly discounted. It's about $7.50 a visit instead of $9. But a lot of people who are only here, a couple times a year like to use that pass instead.
Or if you're away at school and then you come back for a break or something like that.
Well, we do have student promotional passes. So like right now, we have a student winter break special. Then during the summer, we have 3 months of membership at a discounted rate for students while they're home. So we do try to accommodate situations like that.
And you said you don't have to be a Vernon Hills resident, but it helps. It helps because you get the discount. People can find out more by going online. You've got all the lists there. What if they just needed to talk it through? Is somebody available that you could come and talk about this?
Definitely. So I'm here regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5-ish. Otherwise, anyone at the front desk is more than happy to help. They know the membership. They know your options. It's good to come take a tour, talk to them, figure out what might work best for you, because we do have a couple different options depending on your situation.
So you can take a tour. They'll help you out with that. And I understand, because it is a park district program, to get that Vernon Hills rate, you do have to show that you live in Vernon Hills, right?
Yes, so you do need to prove residency, a little more than just a driver's license or ID. We also ask that you either bring a tax bill or a water bill or something showing your address. It could even just be a piece of mail that shows your name, your address, to prove that you're here recently. So
Makes sense. So if somebody wants to find out more, you're available. The front desk is available. Go online, give a call, just have a visit. They figured it all out. So thank you very much for taking the time.
thank you.
Well, now we're in one of the fitness classrooms. This is a pretty cool room. We're with Lacey Velasquez. You're the fitness supervisor over here. Did I get that right?
Yes, I am in charge of group exercise, personal training. I'm in charge of our babysitting room, and I have our fitness attendants that help keep the facility clean.
So you're in charge of most of the things that are going on day to day, I'd have to say.
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
So the babysitting is a really nice feature, but we're here kind of to talk about fitness because we're talking about January, kind of New Year's resolutions, how to stay active over the winter. And you've got lots of ways people can stay active. And I think we heard 75 different kind of classes. So can you talk a little bit about, if you've never exercised, what might be some of the classes that might be interesting to me?
So one thing I will say is all of our classes are taught at a medium level. So anybody coming in should feel comfortable to take any of the classes, any of the formats. So the instructors teach at a medium format or a medium level, and then they teach modifications that make it harder, and they show modifications that make it easier. So some of our more popular classes, we have Body Pump, which is one of our most popular. It's a Les Mills program, and it's a choreographed barbell class. So all of the movements are done to the timing of the music. So Even our guys come to this class. It's not dancy. So, and that kind of goes into our next popular class, which is Zumba, which is a timeless classic. People always love Zumba. We have several different yoga formats. We have Hatha yoga, which is your lower key, very beginner level yoga. And then we have our Vinyasa yoga, and that's more of a high-paced, higher intensity yoga. And then actually starting in January, we're bringing in a plus-size yoga, which we're really excited about. And we have also a chair yoga that we teach over at our Sullivan Community Center, which is great for people with injuries, people who have issues getting up and down off the floor.
Okay, so chair yoga is just what it sounds like? You're in a chair doing the movement?
You can be sitting in the chair sometimes, or you can be standing next to a chair and using the chair for balance.
I like the balance. Well, I also think it's interesting that really, if you see something in the classes you'd like, because every class can be modified to you once you get there, you shouldn't feel worried about it. You can try just about anything.
Correct, yes. And I always encourage people, if they're new, to come in and talk to the instructor before the class starts, and they can let them know if they have any injuries or anything that they need to be aware of.
Now, and also on classes, do you need to start in at a certain time? Like, is there a beginning and an end? Like, if I jump into Zumba but I don't know the routines, or can I just, if I'm ready to get started being physically fit, I can just come?
Oh yeah, you can start anytime. It's not like you have to start, it's not like they are going in 4-week sections or anything and you have to wait to start at a certain time. You can start anytime.
That's really good to know. So for everybody, we already learned how to find out more, and like you said, come and talk to the instructors or come and talk to you. I would say you have a lot of information, including what if, I heard you say personal trainer. So what if I need somebody to really get after me and keep me going? What does that look like here?
So for any of our incoming new members, we offer a free consultation and orientation. So the orientation is anybody who's coming in, they may not be familiar with the equipment that we have. A personal trainer will walk around with them and show them how to use each piece of equipment. And then if somebody is interested in personal training, they would just fill out a request form and they would sit down with a personal trainer and see if they are able to help them meet their goals.
So set goals, figure out what activities might help, and kind of make a plan.
Yep, exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff available through here, and everybody's here to help. So that's awesome. So if people want to find out more, I know the website's the way to go.
Absolutely, yep.
Thank you. Well, thanks for taking the time. We'll take a break, and you've got some ideas for us that we can stay healthier in 2019. So we'll be right back with those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Lacey, you're our fitness expert. How about some tips for 2019, something we can all do?
Sure. Some classics are to take the stairs instead of the elevator, the escalator. Anytime you're going to the store, you can park further away from the building and then add up your steps. At our facility, we also have some great spin classes. So these are what the bikes look like. The classes are about 55 minutes long, and it's a great way to get your heart rate up and improve your heart health. Some other cool things that are on the market are if you would just have a regular bike, they have a cool contraption that you can actually prop the back wheel of your bike up, and you can actually ride your bike in your living room. So you can ride your bike while you're watching TV and kind of forget that you're actually working out. Another cool thing is here at our facility, we, in the month of January, are going to be running a race. It's called a virtual race called Going the Extra Mile. So you can combine all of these, and basically we are encouraging people to use the full month of January to complete 150 miles, and they can get that mileage however they want. You can count your steps on your Fitbit if you have one, or take a spin class, or swim, or run, however you want to do it. And at the end of the month, whoever finishes that 150 miles is going to get some nice swag. We have some big extravagant medals that we're going to be giving out. So virtual races have become a pretty popular thing lately.
So it's something you can kind of do on your own and here and everywhere.
Yeah, you don't have to be in our facility to do it. You can do it anywhere, and you can fill out a form that tracks your mileage for you.
Gotcha. Log it in, and swag, and medals. Any time you say you can win a medal, that sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, so finishers are also eligible for prizes at the end of it also. We're doing it as a drawing instead of first place, second place, third place. So people who maybe don't typically do races stand a chance of winning a prize.
So that's a lot of good ideas. And again, if people want to know more, go to the website or stop by here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for your help. And let's all be healthier in 2019.
Let's do it.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Storto at 847-918-3560 or email mikes@vhills.org. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.